Have you ever wondered what's happening now to our environment? Well, you need to act now. The time is running out.
Weather patterns may become less predictable as projected temperature and rainfall levels.
We all believe that we are ecocentric, but in reality, most people are anthropocentric.
Climate change organizations have
emissions of greenhouse gases.
Climate change is now happening.
Indonesia says it's
10 million tons of.
The Philippines tops a list of countries most susceptible to hazards caused by climate change.
Ito ang dahilan ng pagkakaroon ng mga bagyong gaya ng Super Typhoon Yolanda at Bagyong Ondoy.
Have you ever thought of what will happen after this life? Will it still be the same? Will there be a fresh air, a blue sky, and the sound of waves?
According to the United Nations, climate change refers to long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns. Weather patterns may become less predictable as projected temperature and rainfall levels can no longer be relied on. However, our climate has been changing much faster. The average time it takes for the climate to change is 100 or 1,000 years. All these changes make it difficult for our plants, animals, and us humans to live. And the biggest cause of this is us humans. As stated, climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures, weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, but since in the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, which produces heat-trapping gases. Climate change is happening right now, everywhere in the world. Carbon emissions in 2022 has increased above the levels recorded in 2019, especially in the United States, India, and European countries. Philippines is vulnerable to the forces of climate change, such as sea level rise, increasing extreme weather events, rising temperatures, and heavy rainfall. The world's temperature has been increasing over the past 150 years. The Philippines has reached its highest index, which is 53 degrees Celsius, recorded on March 15 in Dagupan, Pangasinan in 2022.
The environment. We believe that we are saving the planet one step at a time. But in this world, we always take raw materials for our own benefit. Most people say that they are ecocentric and they think that they are saving the planet one step at a time. But in reality, they are anthropocentric and they use raw materials in order to benefit themselves and making their lives easier.
So, what are the effects of climate change? There's a lot, but the most noticeable ones has to be the storms, the changes in weather pattern, and the droughts. You know, the storms are now way worse than it was before. The effects are way worse, they're way stronger. And the changes in weather patterns. You know how some days can be really sunny, but then the next hour, it's suddenly really stormy or really rainy. That is an effect of climate change. Or, it can be an effect of global warming directly caused by climate change. There's also your droughts, it's an effect of climate change.
Plant more trees. Trees turns carbon dioxide to oxygen. This is through photosynthesis. More trees, more filters. But we should know that we also need to cut off our greenhouse gases emissions, especially carbon. Because what's the point of planting more trees if our carbon emission increases? According to scientists, planting trees are not enough. Planting trees is a solution, but it is not the sole solution. Because of the worst incoming effect of climate change, the point of no return, we don't have time to wait for the trees to grow. That's why, according to Crowther, cutting off greenhouse gases emission is the highest priority in the fight against climate change. So what can we do to reduce our greenhouse gases emission? Did you know that trees are not the only oxygen producers here on Earth? Actually, only 28% of the oxygen production came from trees. So, where the rest of the oxygen came from? It's from the ocean! So what's in the ocean that produced this oxygen? Scientists says that it came from the small organisms, the oceanic planktons. It also came from other marine plants. But the majority of the oxygen production came from these planktons. Scientists estimate that 50 to 80% of oxygen production came from the ocean.
We are the young generations who will benefit all the present situations that our environment are facing. But if some people are still unconscious and do nothing to our environment, what will our future then?